My husband didn't come close to me on our first night. He took out a jar of clarified butter from the bedside drawer and asked me to lie down. My legs were trembling, not knowing what my husband was planning on our first night together. When I lay down, he took a bit of the butter and began massaging it on my stomach. After a while, he left the room, and I was left in confusion. My clothes were drenched in the butter, and a strange hunger started growing inside me. I quickly went to the bathroom to wash up. When I came out, I saw the bed, and I was shocked. For the past 3 years, this had been my reality. Every time the boy's family came to meet me, I felt like I was being presented as a showpiece. Despite this, no one seemed to want to marry me. My skin was dark, and there was a scar under my eye that I had gotten as a child when my brother accidentally burnt me. That scar had made me feel ugly all my life. Every time someone came to see me, they would reject me because of that scar. When I entered the drawing room, I was sure that I would be rejected once again for my dark skin and the scar. But when I greeted a middle-aged lady sitting with a young girl, she looked at me curiously. After a few questions, she said to my mother that she liked me for her brother and asked if I could meet him. I was surprised and confused. How could anyone like me, despite my scar? After a long exchange of questions and answers, my mother agreed, and the proposal was set. I was both shocked and heartbroken. It felt like my mother had finally given up on me, and maybe she was also tired of dealing with my insecurities. As the wedding preparations began, people kept asking about the boy's family, wondering why they chose me. They couldn't fathom that a good family would select me. I was used to being judged. I had only seen a picture of my future husband, Majid, but I couldn't believe he was the one who had chosen me. I had doubts. However, on the wedding day, as I sat on the stage, Majid walked in with his sister. When I looked at him, I was in complete disbelief. He was even more handsome than his picture. When Majid sat next to me, he greeted me in a calm, polite manner, and I felt my heart swell with happiness. His presence made me feel like my prayers had finally been answered. His family, who once doubted me, now saw me with a different perspective. Later, when we arrived at his house, everything felt like a dream. The whole house was decorated for me, and I could see how much Majid cared about every detail. As I entered the room, I was overwhelmed by how beautiful everything was. Majid then joined me, and we shared a quiet moment. He told me about his past, how he lost his parents when he was very young, and how his sister, Zubaida, had raised him. My heart softened towards him, and I knew that we had a special connection. That night, I realized that love had found me when I least expected it, and the man I was about to marry was someone who understood me better than anyone else. For more beautiful and touching love stories, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thank you for reading.